Hello, welcome back. I have noticed that many of us who are going through this journey searching for what really works in trading forex or cryptocurrencies, stocks, or any other market. Many people are drawn to what's known as price action trading, and for good reason. Especially if you've ever been ripped off by the many gimmicks and useless tools that are designed to dazzle us with flashy software. You may have discovered that it's more useful and more effective to actually learn to read what's forming on your own charts. And the way to do that is to learn price action trading. I'm going to show you over the next 10 minutes what will enable you to develop a real skill in trading that is yours, and you own it, you control it. And once you have that skill, you will never fall for any hyped up, unethical trading nonsense that anyone tries to sell you. Because you will know what works and you will be able to do it yourself. So let's get started with that right now. I've been involved in price action trading for many years. Whether I have a naked chart with nothing but candles on it, or whether I may have some indicators or any tools that might be useful on the chart as well, the primary focus is always the action of price. But unfortunately, in the field that is usually known as price action trading, usually the focus is on remaining blind and ignorant to more important, critical things that price action does. These are the most critical price action behavior language signals that can be read on charts. Now, the first real problem that you would encounter is the blind overemphasis on support and resistance alone. Price action trading mentors often show a select piece of price action and try to show how individual candles can indicate a reversal at support or resistance. Now, if I looked at the random coincidence of price going up and then maybe heading back down to a resistance area, there is much more critical information that could be noticed and read that would enable me to know something beyond just whether the price went up and coming back to resistance. For instance, if the price going up is impulsive and is known in the context of knowing that that wave is an impulsive wave in a larger pattern, I will know that it will reverse before it hits resistance. Many price action traders might just be surprised because they just see price went up and is coming back towards resistance. If it reverses before it ever gets to resistance, they might be surprised by that. Not only would I not be surprised by that, I would be expecting that to happen. Another very fascinating thing is if the price that's coming back to resistance happens to be a wave 5 or a last wave of a trend, it will come back to resistance, go through it, and reverse after it goes through it. Many price action traders will be surprised they see it go through resistance and maybe go short after it goes to resistance. Not only would I not want to go through life constantly being surprised by that, I would want to see how the market does that over and over every day. If I was only focused on the fact that there's some price that's going up and then it's turning and going back down towards resistance, I would have to remain ignorant and blind to the fact that there is a market phenomenon that was clearly forming. One that repeats itself over and over every day. In price action, the most important thing that is far more critical than support and resistance is seeing the shape that price action forms and knowing the basics of how to read those shapes that price action forms. These shapes are formed by price action. If I could only focus on individual candles and support and resistance, that is deliberately blinding myself to be able to see the actual shapes that price action is forming. And these shapes have far more meaning. They can be read like letters of the alphabet, like words in a language. There is a distinct shape that trends form every day. And there's a distinct type of corrective price action or corrections that follow trends every day. And there is a point where corrections turn. There's a way to identify these points. In price action trading, you might hear mentors mention that when price is maintaining momentum and approaching support or resistance, that it could be a sign to not enter in the opposite direction when it approaches support and resistance. and that the price may keep going instead. Well, when you learn to read the shapes that trends and corrections form every day, you would know that with a lot more understanding and certainty. Instead of just noticing a long-bodied candle, you would recognize behavior patterns that are far more meaningful. Now, this science and art of learning to read the shapes that price action forms, once you see it and once you are attuned to that, you can develop an actual skill of reading the market. And this skill enables traders to know when the market is going to keep going, know when it's going to turn, know for approximately how long it will turn, when it turns, and if it's going to turn back in the other direction, what will be the sign that will tell you that that's happening next. It's such a powerful and useful skill that it's amazing that anyone would attempt to trade without having that. Because if you want to increase your probability, that's exactly how you can do it. One of the things that happens when you learn to actually read the market and you can see things and read things on your chart is that you will know things with a higher probability because you've seen it before. It's just doing the same thing that it always does. And once you're able to see that and recognize it, your probability will increase a lot so that you won't be limited where you have to trade and limit your risk so much because the percentage of winning trades is not going to be very high using blind price action, but using enlightened price action of knowing how to read the shapes and patterns that price action forms increases the probability so much that your percentage of winning trades will be higher and the size of your winning trades will consistently be larger than your losing trades on average. The best way to develop that skill is to join us in our live sessions every day. You can get started with that. Just go to our website, tradingmastermind.com, and sign up for our free training. Now, this subject of how to develop that skill, how to identify when the market is turning, is something that I have made a number of other videos about. I made another video about that same subject, and you can watch that right over here.